Good morning, all of you. I welcome all of you to the lecture Web Designing and Analytics. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about cascading style sheets orientations. You heard this style sheet, CSS cascading style sheet in chapter 1, and this is standardized by W3C. So in this chapter we will see the CSS benefits as well. Hope this presentation is visible to you. So you look at the CSS. CSS is a separate language and it has its own syntax that we have to understood. This is used for adding the style to the font, adding the color, adding the background color, and even for basic page layout we can use CSS. There are some benefits of CSS use. We can precise type layout control. You can achieve a print-like precision using CSS. There is even a set of properties aimed specifically at the printed page. We can also make the book covering using CSS. As well as there is less work. We don't need to change the entire website appearance. Just you make one CSS page and from that style sheet page you can change in whole website. This is the benefit of CSS. More accessible sites. When all matters of the presentations are handled by CSS, you can mark your content meaningfully and make it more accessible of non-visual as well as in laptop it will visual, in a mobile phone it will visual, as well as in a tablet phones it will visual. So it is more accessible. These are the advantages of the CSS use. And it is reliable browser support. CSS has every browser in current use supports CSS level 2 and many cool part of CSS level 3. There are some not disadvantages but some limitations, but some of the nowadays there are solutions for lingering hassles from browsers inconsistencies. So we have to use the CSS. The CSS has the power which we can use for designing not only the web pages as well as some of the good pages. When used to its full potential, CSS is robust and powerful design tool. CSS for design by variety of richness of design at CSS. You can see in the Zen Garden. There is the website zengarden.com. You can find there the many designs gardens in that. Just we will put here and find is it working or not. You see this is the website is provided the richness into the CSS. In the messy day of your, when developers were still hesitant to give up their table based on layout of CSS, there are some examples of David Shahan's and CSS Zen Garden sites demonstrations. These websites exactly would be accomplished using CSS alone. David posted an HTML document, you can see in this diagram. This layout is designed by using the CSS as well as this Zen Gardens. You can see this design is developed with the help of CSS, and this diagram by Pierre Onkel Scott, and Organica Creative is good CSS design. In figure 11.1 you can see the pages of CSS Zen Garden using the same XHTML sources document. The design is changed using exclusive CSS. It does not include the single image element, but you can look at how different each pages look and how sophisticated. You see, there is no single image in this page, but it is looking sophisticated. Here is only one image, but it is looking good. You see, there is no very much CSS use, but proper CSS use, it got a good look. The CSS Zen Garden is no longer being updated, and now it is considered a historical document. You can see this is no longer change in this document, so it is a historical document. Despite its age, I still find it to be a nice one-stop lessons demonstrating the CSS. How style sheet work. Hope this is visible to you. How style sheet work. There are 3 easy steps. First, start with a document that has been marked with HTML. And second, write style rules for how do like certain element to look. And third, attach the style rules to document. When the browser displays the document, it follows your rules rendering element. Unless the user has applied some mandatory style, but it will get, you can see that in a practical below. Now first, making of the document, how to create the document, CSS document. For example, you know that it is important to choose the element that accurately describe the meaning of the content. Okay, then you have to create the structure of the document, something the structure layer, presentation layer you can use into the document. You see one exercise is there to create the document. The back of the new $20. This is the page created using the CSS. This what article look like without any style sheet instructions. Although we would be making it beautiful, you will get a feel for how style work. In this document there is no style sheet use. This is like exact a paragraph, not more style sheet use in this page. But if we use there a style sheet, the page look will be changed. For writing the rules, a style sheet is made up of one or more style sheet instructions. There is not a single. You have to use the rules. The first step in learning CSS is to get familiar with part of rule. As you will see, each rule select an element and declare how it should look. We have to select the element, as here you can see H1 element is selected, P element is selected, and H1 element, how its color will be green. Here we have used the CSS color is green. So this is example. The first, make all the H1 element in the document green. The second paragraph is used. The specific that paragraph should be in a small and sans serif fonts. The font name is given, so the font of the paragraph should be displayed in the sans serif font. So in CSS terminology, the two main sections of the rule are the selector. This is called as selector. The identifier, the element or the element to be affected, and the declaration that provide the rendering instructions. The declaration in terms is made up of property such as color, green, separated by column and a space. One or more declaration are placed inside in curly bracket as shown in figure. You can see this is written into the curly bracket. Here is the figure 11.30. This is the declaration, and there is the selector, and there is the selector, and this is the declaration. So in this example there are two declaration, H1 and P, and these are the declaration. These are the declarations. Okay, hope this is understood to you. Now you see the selector. What is selector? The H1 and P elements are used as a selector. This is called the element type selector. This is called element type selector because we have selected element as a selector to change the style sheet, and it is most basic type of selector. Element type of selector is the most basic type of selector. The properties defined for each rules will apply to every H1 and P element in the document respectively. In upcoming we will see that in next. But sophisticated selector that you can use the target element, including the way to select the group of element and elements that appear in the particular context. Mastering selector, how we will become a master in the selector, that is choosing the best type of selector, and it is strategically. Now declaration. After selector we need the declaration is made up of the properties values pair. There can be more than one declaration in a single rule. For example, the rule of the paragraph P font show early in code that font size and font family properties, all these are the declaration, and that must be end with a semicolon to keep it separate from the following declarations. If you omit the comma, the declarations as follow, it will be ignored. So we have to separate this by the semicolon. If you want font size small and font family, then two select declarations are there. And these two declarations are separated by the comma. Note that the nothing has really changed here. There is still one set in curly bracket semicolon. There semicolon is needed. You see these are the semicolon needed, otherwise it will not work. The only difference is the inserting a line written and some character space for alignment. The heart of style sheet lies in the collection of standard properties that can be applied to the selected element. Which properties we are applying to the selected selectors? On the basis of these properties, our document format, our document style will change. So this is the heart of the selector style sheets. The complete CSS specifications define dozens of properties. There are various properties, all these are in a HTML. If you know the HTML, all that we can make as a selector and their properties of declarations. The values depends on the properties. Some of the properties take length measurements, some take color values, and other have a specified list of keywords. So there are various properties and it has the values. You can see color green, font size small, font family, sans serifs. Likewise we can use. So you have to perform this exercise at home. Now attaching the style sheet to the document. How to attach the style sheet to the document? We have created this style sheet. Okay, no problem. But how to attach this to the document? In the previous exercise, we embedded the style sheet right in the document using the style element. That is just one of the 3 ways that style information can be applied to the HTML document. You will get to try out each of these one by one. So it is helpful to have an overview of the method of terminology. There are external style sheet, embedded style sheets. External style sheet is a separate text only document that contain a number of styles rule. It must be named with the .css suffix. We have to save our file .css. The .css document is then linked to or imported into one or more HTML document. In this way, all the file website may be shared in some style sheet. You can see the power of preferred method for attaching style sheet to the document in chapter 13. Embedded style sheet. The embedded style sheet work with the exercise. You can use this with a exercise, and the style sheet element must be placed in the head of the document, as well. That is the embedded style sheet. Means in the same page we can add the style sheet, embedded style sheet. In this example, also include a comment style sheet sidebar, as in this page. We can see this style sheet is head, title, required document, title here, title close, style, rule, style close, and head close. Similarly, we can use style type equal to text CSS. Comment in a style sheet. How to comment in style sheet? By using slash and star. We can comment. Suppose we don't want this large font, just want small font, so we can use slash and asterisk to add the comment to the content. The content between the slash and star will be ignored with the style sheet is sparse. When you can leave the comment anywhere in the style sheet, even within the rule. Even we have created here selector body. In body we have declared the font size, and this is comment. One use of the comment is to label sections of the style sheet to make things easier. Find later in example. You can see this is layout as well as footer style. These 2 points are commented. CSS comments are also useful for temporarily hiding the style declaration in design process. I can quickly sweep the styles off by enclosing them in the slash star and star slash closing. Inline style. There is also another type of style, inline style. You can apply the properties and values to a single element using the style attribute in the element itself, as shown here. You can see h1. To h1 their style equal to color red is applied. This is the inline style. Introduction. This introduction will be red and h1 is closed here. So we can see the output of this. To add the multiple properties, just separate them in a semicolon. In inline style, we can separate one more style, one more declaration by using the semicolon. Here is semicolon we have used for separate this. Their color will change of introduction as well as margin. Top margin will change. Inline style sheet apply only to the particular element in which the appear. You can see inline style should be avoided unless it is absolutely necessary to override style from the embedded or external style sheet. Inline style sheets problematic in that they interparse presentation information into the structure markup. So it is difficult to make change because every style attribute must be hunted down in the source. So we should avoid to use the inline style sheet into the document because it is make a confusion and difficulties into the change into the document. The big concept. There are few big ideas that you need to get head around to be comfortable with how cascade style sheet behave. Each of these ideas will certain to revisit and illustrate in more detail. You can find all detail one by one. There is inheritance. Inheritance are your eyes that some color as your parent. Did you inherit their hair color, your unique smile? Well, just as parents pass down pride to their children. Style sheet. Styled HTML element pass down certain style properties to the element they contain as inheritance. When we style the P element in a small sans serif font, the EM element is in the second paragraph become a small and sans as well. We have applied suppose EM element and to the paragraph we have suppose use font name sans serif, then the effect will be fall on the other also. So this is the inheritance. Even though we did not write any rule in us specifically, that is because inherited the style sheet from the paragraph it is in. You can see one of the example is given here. Unstyled paragraph. It is the black. You can look at this back. It is the back of the note that's driving me crazy. This back is in a EM element, means italic in nature. So now you see we have used a paragraph style, font size equal to small and font family sans serif. Now this EM style will change and this font also will change and it will become a small. The paragraph with style rule applied. It is the back of the note that's driving me crazy. The emphasized text em. This element is a small and sans serif even though it has no style rule of its own. It inherits the style from the paragraph that contain it. So how the document structure of the style sheet? We have to understood the structure because it is important. HTML document have an impact structured or hierarchy. For example, the sample articles we have been play with the with has an HTML root element. This is HTML root element and it contained head and body. And body contain the heading, paragraph, and paragraph contain the em tag, as well as some of the paragraph contain image tag. This is the hierarchy. You can visualize the structure as upside down tree branching out from the root, as shown in this figure LF 1.6, the documentary structure for sampling document. Similarly, the parent and children. There are some parent node and children. If you want to add the style sheet on the parent, then its effect will fall on the children's as a inherent style sheet. So the documentary become a family tree when it come to referring to the relationship between the element. All the element content within the element are said to be a descendant. For example, H1, H2, P, EM and IMG element in the document in figure 11.6 are the descendant of the body element. This body element, and it has a H1, it has P, EM, IMG, H1, H2 descendant element. An element that is directly contained within another element with no intervening hierarchical level, it is said to be the child of that element. And conceivably, the containing element in the parent, for example, the EM element is a child of a P element and P is the parent of child. Here EM is the child of this P and P is the parent of this EM element. So this is the child element and parent element, and other is descendant element. Which is descendant element? H1 paragraph has a child, but there is P, H2 and also EM. These are the descendant element. Those element don't having the child, it is called as descendant element. Descendant element not having the child. All the element higher than the particular element in the hierarchy are ancestor. All these element, this body is the ancestor of this element, all these elements, and the HTML is the ancestor of all these elements. Similarly, in this title, style and meta, this head is the ancestor of all these element. Two element with same parent are siblings, as well as two elements. This EM are the sibling of paragraph element. If two elements, it has body has a number of element, and all these are the sibling of the body element. We don't refer to aunt and cousins, so here, so the analogy stops there. This may all seen in CSS within the writing the selectors. Now pass it on. When you write the front related style rule using the P element as a selector, suppose P as a selector, the rule applied to all the paragraphs in the document as well as in inline text element they contain. We have seen the evidence of EM element hierarchical style properties which applied to the parent in previous example. So note that the IMG element is excluded because the font related property do not apply to the image. Now you see we have applied, suppose P. Here in this example P is a selector, and therefore we have selected all the P. All this P will become a font small and font family sans serif. All these as well as this EM, because this is the inheritance of this P, so its effect will fall on EM. But you can see here on this image no effect fall of this P. Why? Because this is a image and this is the text, so the image is excluded from this. So it is important to note that some style sheet properties inherent and other do not. In general, properties related to the styling of the text like font size, color, style, etc. are passed down. The properties such as the border, margin, background and so on that affect the box or around the element tends not to be passed down. So some of the like box, paragraph, some of the properties not passed down to the inheritance. It is some of the properties only pass. For example, if you put the border around the paragraph, you would not want to border around the even inline elements such as I am strong, EM strong or A. It contain as well. But you can also inheritance to your advantage when writing style sheet. For example, if you want all text element to render Vardhana font face, you could write separate style sheet rules for every element into the document, so the font style will be changed. Similarly, you can use for the body element, and all the text contained in the body element will be inherited. Now you see any properties applied to specific element which override the inherited values. For that property, going back to the article example, you would specify the EM element should appear in serif font, and what would vary the inheritance sans serif setting. Now you see the figure 11.8. All the element in the document inheritance certain properties applied to the body element. Some properties applied to the body element: font size, small, font family, sans, So all these are applied to the child node, that is inherited from the parent. But there are some conflicting styles into the cascades. Ever wonder why they are called cascading style sheets? CSS allow you to apply several style sheets to the same document, which means there are around to be conflict. For example, what should the browser do if the document important style sheet say that's h1 element should be red, but it is embedded style sheet has a rule that make h1s as purple. The folks who wrote the style sheet specifications anticipated in this problem and devised a hierarchical styles that assign different weightage to the various sources of the style information. The cascade refers to what happens when the several sources of the style information vie for control of the element on a page. Style information is passed down and until it is override by style command with more weight. For example, if you don't apply any style information to the web page, it will be rendered according to the browser internal style sheet. We have been called this the default rendering. You can see this detail in W3C is called it is the user agent style sheet. Individual user can apply their own style sheet as well as the user style sheet, which override the default style sheet their browsers as well. The only exception if the user has identifies the styles as important, assigning importance sidebar. The style sheet source is one hierarchical that determine which style win. This is on the browser. The prevent a specific rule for beginning overridden, you can assign importance with the important indicators. Specificity. There are some applicable style sheet has been chosen. Still may be conflict. Therefore, the cascade continue as a rule level. When two rules in a single style sheet conflict, the type of selector is used to determine the winner. The more specific the selector, the more weightage is given to the override conflict declarations. It is little soon to be discussing specific. Assigning importance, you can see here is the paragraph and their declarations color blue. This is important style sheets, so this blue will be applied onto the another style sheet also, because this is the important style sheets. Style sheet hierarchy, we have also seen this style sheet hierarchy. Now rule order. Finally, if there are conflict within the style rule of identical weight, whichever one come last in last win, list in win. Take these three rules. For example, P red, P paragraph blue and green. There three are taken into the same. Then which will be win in this? In this scenario, the paragraph text will be green because the last rule in the style sheet, that is the one closest to the content in the document override the earlier one. The same things happen when the conflict style occur within the style declaration stack. In this, green will be there. Style, paragraph, color red, color blue, color green, style close. The resulting color will be green. because the last declaration override the prevention of 2. It is easy to accidentally override prevention declaration within a rule when you get into the compound properties, so this is an important behavior to keep in mind. Next one is the box model. The box model, as long as we are talking about big CSS concept, it is only appropriate to introduce the cornerstones of CSS visual formatting system. The box model, the easiest way to think of the box model is that browser see every element on the page, both block and inline, as being contained in little rectangular box. You can apply properties such as border, margin, padding and background to these boxes, and even reposition them on the page. We are going on to a lot more detail about the box model in next chapter, but having general feel for box model we will see here. To see the element roughly the way of browser see them, I have written style rule that added borders around every content element in our sample article. H1 border 1 pixel solid blue, H2 border 1 pixel solid blue, and paragraph border 1 pixel solid blue, and EM border 1 pixel solid blue, and IMG border 1 pixel solid blue. In this you can see the result at this figure. The border reveals the shape of each block element box. There are boxes around the inline element EM, IMG as well as. Notice that the block element box expand to fill the available width of the browser window, which is nature of block element in normal document flow. Inline blocks encompasses just the characteristics or image they contain. You can see here. If you have any doubt regarding the box model, order rules of the style inheritance, conflicting style sheet cascade, as well as if you have any doubt regarding document structure, inheritance and inline style into the style sheet, declarations, selector, you can ask. In next lecture we will see the next part of this style sheet as well as some of the example. If you have any doubt regarding this, you can ask. Yes, do you have any doubt? Otherwise we will stop here. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.